Coming up on the cut,
the U.S. confirms an Iranian American arrested in Iran.
AI takes over this industry in Poland.
And an Instagram star's detainment takes the internet by storm.
All of this and what it means coming up.
The cut starts now. Hello and welcome to the Cut Network. I'm Maria Loiza.
And I'm Ernie Jimenez. Iranian American journalist RZA Alavi detained in Iran. An Iranian American journalist, RZA Alavi, who once worked for a U.S. government-funded broadcast, is believed to have been detained by Iran for months, according to authorities. The U.S. State Department confirmed Alavi's imprisonment on Sunday as Iran's marked the 45th anniversary of the takeover on the American embassy and the hostage crisis. This news comes on the heels of a threat by Iranian Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, who promised a crushing response to Israel and the U.S. as long-range B-52 bombers deployed to the Middle East in an effort to deter Tehran. Alavi had previously worked for Radio Farda, an outlet under Radio Free Europe/Radio Liberty, which is oversaw by the U.S. Agency for Global Media. In February, he reported on social media that his family members had been detained in an attempt to force him to return to Iran. In August, Alavi apparently posted messages suggesting he had returned to Iran, despite Radio Farda being viewed by Iran's theocracy as a hostile outlet. The situation remains tense as the U.S. and its allies respond to Iran's aggressions.
Polish radio station introduces AI reporters in replacement of former human journalists. AI is fabricating many parts of our day-to-day lives, and it is now in the newsrooms. Cut reporter Taylor Casey is here to tell us more. Taylor?
Polish radio station introduces AI reporters in replacement of former human journalists. A local radio station based in Krakow, Poland, has triggered controversy after dismissing its journalists and reintroducing AI-generated presenters. The station previously let go of many journalists because of the low listenership and quickly replaced them with 3 AI avatars. The new computer-generated faces are designed to reach younger listeners by speaking about culture, art, and social issues. Many fans have been protesting about the change, deeming it is a, quote, dangerous precedent that hits us all, unquote. There had been a petition made to undo the radio station's decision, which received over 23,000 signatures. In response, main editor of Krakow Radio, Marcin Polit, stated the move was intended to spark a debate about AI and felt that he accomplished so. He mentioned the experiment was supposed to run for 3 months, but quickly overturned after a week. Polit made this decision stating that it is pointless because of the large backlash received and is now canceled. Though the experiment quickly turned over, AI-generated journalists are here to stay. Various other companies such as Google are integrating the idea of AI presenters into their brands. For the Cut Network, I'm Taylor Casey.
Thank you, Taylor. More than 4 years after the death of Breonna Taylor, Jefferson Square Park in Louisville, Kentucky is no longer a place of protest. However, a lull in the social momentum for the case has not stopped the legal proceedings that are inevitable. Brett Hankison was found guilty on November 1st of violating Taylor's civil rights during a no-knock warrant against her at-the-time boyfriend, Kenneth Walker. Some in Louisville believe that Taylor's family will finally receive the justice they deserve. Member of the Louisville Metro Council, Shamika Parrish-Wright, said, quote, "This is a big win for the family, but a drop in the bucket toward the social justice we are fighting for," end quote. However, others believe that there should be consequences, but the possible consequence to the officer is too extreme. Louisville automotive technician Scott Harris said, quote, "You don't shoot at a police officer and expect them to not return fire," end quote. Regardless of perspective, the 12-member jury found Hankison to be guilty. The conviction Hankison is facing carries a maximum of life in prison. That sentencing will take place March 12, 2025, the day before the 5-year anniversary of Taylor's death.
A missing Arizona teen located in Utah with the suspect now in custody. Scary scenes over in Arizona as Avondale police have announced that a missing teen believed to be heading out of state with a 29-year-old man has been located in Utah. The 16-year-old girl was last seen at her home near Avondale Boulevard and Buckeye Road around 1 a.m. on Sunday and was reported missing about 5 hours later. Police suspected the teen ran away and was picked up by 29-year-old Isaac Martin, described as her possible boyfriend. They had probable cause to arrest Martin for kidnapping. Family members informed police that they received a text from the teen around 8:50 a.m. on Sunday, indicating they were traveling toward the Arizona-New Mexico border. Both the teen and Martin were located early Monday morning in Utah. Martin has since been taken into custody for kidnapping, and the teen will be reunited with her family.
Tornadoes have touched ground in Oklahoma, causing mass destruction. Cut reporter Celeste Rivas is here to tell us more. Celeste?
Thank you, Maria. At least 11 people required hospitalization and thousands of properties are left without power after severe tornadoes and flooding in Oklahoma City, Associated Press reported Sunday night. Extreme thunderstorms spawned the flooding and at least 6 tornadoes Saturday night, according to forecast chief Richard Thompson. The early morning tornado sirens reached those along the Arkansas state line as well. Over 99,000 Oklahoma homes and businesses were reported to have lost power overnight, according to Oklahoma officials. As of Sunday afternoon, 39 structures have been completely demolished and 43 are facing significant damage. Southern and eastern parts of Oklahoma also received tornado warnings, along with those of flying debris and hail the size of golf balls. The National Weather Service sent out a tornado watch for Oklahoma and a few northern counties in Texas. The nightmare became visible once the sun came up to reveal walls and roofs stripped off homes, overturned cars, streets flooded with debris, and damaged power lines, gas lines, and trees. Fortunately, no deaths have been reported. Mayor of Choctaw, east of Oklahoma City, says that the tornado warnings most likely saved lives. For the Cut Network, I am Celeste Rivas.
Thank you, Celeste. Our thoughts are with those impacted by this tragedy. After 143 days of weather over 100 degrees, Arizona, get your coats and mittens out. There are only highs in the low 70s for the foreseeable future. As Arizona breaks out of the high temperatures it has experienced this year, climate change is a factor to blame for record highs. With rain and lower temperatures, the valley is finally starting to feel like fall, but other parts of Arizona are preparing for snowfall. In northern Arizona, cities that are at an altitude greater than 7,000 feet can expect anywhere from 6 to 12 inches of snow. According to the National Weather Association, Vernon, Arizona has received the most snowfall with just over 12 inches earlier this week. The rest of Arizona that is not in high altitude locations can expect temperatures to continue to be in the low 70s to high 60s for the next couple of weeks, with a little chance of showers.
Many who tuned into last weekend's episode of Saturday Night Live were in for a surprise. Cut reporter Abby Jurek is here to tell us more. Abby?
Last Saturday night, current Vice President and former presidential candidate Kamala Harris made a brief appearance on Saturday Night Live, or SNL. Regular SNL viewers were surprised to see Harris on the show. Harris played herself on the show's opening scene alongside Maya Rudolph, who frequently impersonated Harris on SNL. In the skit, Rudolph played Harris preparing for a rally in Philadelphia, speaking into a mirror and saying, quote, "I wish I could talk to someone who's been in my shoes, you know, a black South Asian woman running for president, preferably from the Bay Area." Then, with impeccable timing, Harris appeared and the crowd went wild. The comedic satirical show had a tradition of featuring presidential candidates on the show, oftentimes just days before the presidential election's conclusion. Past and presidential candidates that have been on the show include but are not limited to John McCain, Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, Bernie Sanders, and Donald Trump. With over almost 5 million weekly viewers, according to AP News, SNL's skit from last Saturday was seen by many. Harris's appearance on the show contributed to her campaign strategy and outreach goals. Her debut also encouraged some but upset others. For the Cut Network, I'm Abby Jurek.
Thank you, Abby. This is just one of many guest appearances on social outlets made by Harris. Moving on, Johan Lopez is here in the studio with this week's sports report.
Thank you very much, Ernie. Hello and welcome back to another edition of Sports on the Cut. I'm Johan Lopez, and believe it or not, we are in the month of November already. Obviously, it's a very important time in our country. We got the battle of two sides, offensive, defensive strategies going head-to-head in arenas all around the country, and I'm obviously talking about opening week of college basketball, as the ASU women's basketball team opened up their season with a home victory against Jackson State with a score of 74-66. After a quiet, disappointing 11-20 record last season, this year's team is looking to have a bounce back this season, as there are 8 new faces and 6 returners, but one of those returners missed all of last year due to knee injury. Graduate guard Ty Skinner dropped a career-high 30 points in her first game back, going 5 for 6 from the three-point line, and this was a vintage Skinner game, as the last time she played, she finished second in scoring overall in the Pac-12 with 19 points a game. And all is right in the world when Skinner is running head coach Natasha Adir's offense, as this will be their 4th season together overall, as Skinner spent her first 2 years at Delaware under Coach Nadir. Another addition to this year's team is 6'7" Oregon transfer and hometown girl Kennedy Basham, as she also had an impressive night, collecting 10 rebounds, scoring 8 points, and blocking 4 shots. This new and improved Sun Devil team will look to keep the good vibes going, as they will host Arkansas State this Friday. Now on to Sun Devil football, as the deal is officially sealed for the Arizona State football team, as they are officially bowl game eligible for the first time since 2021. After getting their 6th win against the Oklahoma State Cowboys with a score of 42-21, and once again, it was the Cameron Scadaboo show. 274 all-purpose yards with 3 touchdowns, but unfortunately for ASU, they will most likely be without him for the upcoming game, as Coach Kennedy Dillingham said in a press conference earlier this week. Scadaboo is doubtful to questionable to an undisclosed injury for the upcoming home game against UCF this Saturday. All in all, Coach Kenny Dillingham has turned this program around in his 2nd season in charge, already matching the total win total of the last 2 years combined, and have a real shot at the Big 12 title. But it won't be easy, as they will be facing a gauntlet for the final stretch of the season, as they will face a UCF team that put up 56 points on the University of Arizona last week. They will be on the road to take on ranked number 22 Kansas State, and their biggest and toughest test of the season will be hosting number 9 BYU. But first things first, they will look to find a way to beat the UCF Knights this Saturday without their star running back Cameron Scadaboo. Kickoff at 5 p.m. Now on to MLB, where the Los Angeles Dodgers has won the World Series, defeating the New York Yankees in 5 games. In this blockbuster fall classic in the battle of baseball royalty, the Dodgers set the tone in Game 1 of the World Series. It was the bottom of the 10th inning. Dodgers were down 3-2. Freddie Freeman at the plate, bases loaded with 2 outs, and on the first pitch, Freeman sends the ball to deep right center, and no doubt about it, home run. Freeman knew it. Adios pelota. Dodgers see him going crazy. Freeman with an all-time World Series moment that will solidify him as a Dodger legend forever. And he went on to be the World Series MVP, hitting 4 home runs in the 5 World Series games. The Dodgers were up 3-0 in the World Series, then the Yankees took Game 4. Then in Game 5, the Yankees were up 5-0, looking like they were going to go back to Los Angeles for Game 6, but in a nightmare-like 5th inning, timely hitting leading to 5 runs and 3 routine Yankee errors later, the game was tied, and the Dodgers would finish them off with a Mookie Betts sac fly and clinching the World Series. So the heartbreak for the Yankees, they have not won a World Series since '09, and their fans are stuck with the number 27 for another season. And with that, that's going to be a wrap for me and sports. Take it away, Ernie Maria.
A viral pet squirrel was euthanized after a raid by authorities. After environmental officials raided his home and seized the animal, Mark Longo, who lives near the Pennsylvania border, claims at least 6 officers from the State Department of Environmental Conservation came to his home without a search warrant, treating him like a criminal. Longo said, quote, "They raided my house to find the squirrel," unquote. Peanut has gained hundreds of thousands of followers on social media platforms over the 7 years he has been with Longo. The raid also resulted in the seizure of a raccoon named Fred, a more recent addition to Longo's animal family. According to the DEC, the raid followed multiple anonymous complaints about unsafe housing for wildlife and the illegal keeping of wild animals as pets. Longo, who runs an animal sanctuary called Peanut's Freedom Farm, expressed his heartache on Instagram, saying, quote, "Well, internet, you won. You took one of the most amazing animals away from me," end quote. Despite knowing it's illegal to own a wild animal without a license in New York, Longo was in the process of certifying Peanut as an educational animal. Longo and his wife held back tears as they released a video announcing Peanut's death.
Oh man, that's just so sad to hear. I mean, losing a pet, that can never be easy. But, you know, kind of talking about wild animals, have you ever wanted to own a squirrel?
A squirrel? Not necessarily. I think they're a little too small for me. If I were to choose a wild animal, I think I'd go exotic. like a tiger.
Oh.
Like if I had enough room, I'd definitely go for a tiger.
Like a tiger?
Or maybe even a bear. I don't think a bear is exotic, but I'd definitely do something like that. Or maybe
Okay.
a monkey that you would like, a shoulder monkey. Like,
Yeah.
What about you, Maria?
If we're gonna go on that level, I'd probably say a panda. You know,
Panda,
you always
okay.
see those cute little videos on TikTok and stuff, so definitely a panda.
Yeah, but that'll do it for tonight's episode. Thank you for tuning into The Cut.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram at @thecut_network and on X @thecut ASU for more content.
Have a nice night.